Coach Jake White, good morning and welcome to Sports on Morning Live.
Be part of it.
Thank you so much, Coach. Now, you've built a reputation for yourself as the turnaround specialist. You took over as the box coach, you took over at the Brumbies as well as the Bulls during a troubled period. Tell us about the difficulty of turning around a team that is used to winning trophies but has found themselves in a dry spell.
Look, I've been very fortunate. I've coached all over the world, and as you quite rightly say, I've joined clubs with different situations. Coached in Australia, Brumbies, went to Montpellier in France, went to Japan, coached in Japan. So I suppose the answer to your question is, having done that and had experience of that, to bring it to the Bulls, which is a massive organisation. It's an organisation that's got an incredible history and a fan base that's bigger than most franchises. I don't want to say it was easy, but it's obviously easier selling something in Pretoria into this region in terms of winning and rugby because of the fact that they're such passionate people.
Certainly. Now, as the director of rugby, talk us through perhaps the importance of victories on and off the field, where precision recruitment becomes pivotal and is key, so that you have the tools to win on the field. You're able to rebuild a sometimes aging squad, or even using that chance to bring in fresh faces if perhaps the host of players that you have at the moment and who have had a long stay in the game are running out in terms of their contracts.
Yeah, look, that is one of the key things we're doing at the Bulls, is we're trying to rebuild, but at the same time keep winning. And rebuilding means on and off the field. So we've had a massive change of personnel, both on and off the field. Got a new CEO who joined the same time as I joined. Edgar and the president, Willem Strauss, as well, have been incredible in terms of selling a vision to the players and to the community. And we've got some fantastic players that are coming through. We just needed some senior players to help them along the way. I think what's happened, not only at the Bulls, but in South Africa generally, is that there's been a mass exodus of players between the ages of, say, 23 and 26, 27 years old. So what we found when I got here was that we'd have really good youngsters and we'd have a massive void between those guys and the older players. And slowly what we're doing is we brought guys like Johan Goosen, Jacques du Plessis, that kind of player back to South Africa, and they are in the age groups we need. We've obviously got great players like Morné Steyn and Bismarck du Plessis that are a bit older now, and we've got some fantastic young talent. But the key sort of message and the key sort of plan from us as an organisation is to try and fill that void of the middle-aged guys in that professional era, the ones that would have been playing at the ages of 25, 26, play their best rugby, and sometimes South Africans haven't got to see those players because they've left so early.
And Coach, as you speak about the different players, talk us through selecting a leader and creating a leadership group, because this becomes very crucial in any successful environment. What is it that you look for in a leader and creating that leadership group?
Look, I think the one thing that I have learned along the way, and it was the same in the Springboks when I had Osterrand and Percy Montgomery and those sort of players who came back as older players, is that the leaders have to be the ones that run in front. I think often what happens, it doesn't matter what your age is. Some people assume the older players are the ones that are taking their foot off the gas, and for me the secret has been that senior players and the older players that we've recruited are the ones that push the standards with the younger players. If you get a guy like Morné Steyn, and I used Bismarck just now as well, those two players would win most things in their preparation, in their gym, in their conditioning, in their in all the things that are needed to be good rugby players. They would win those facets. So when a young player sees that and he sees that guy as a leader, he might not be the captain, he might not be the voice, but the mere fact that his actions speak louder than words is sometimes much more important to be a leader. So yeah, look, I think that, again, in terms of on the field, the more people you've got that can talk and the more people that have been captains, it also helps because they all can feed off each other. And, as I said, Bismarck's been a captain, Morné's been a captain, Marcel Couture's been a captain. When we had Trevor Nyankani, he was a captain. So, yeah, it was probably, as I said, it was easier when I got here because of the fact that a lot of those guys had innate ability to be leaders anyway.
Understandably, Coach. Let's now speak about some of the comments that you made on relooking the selection of overseas-based players for the Springboks. I mean, this caught the attention of many rugby lovers around the world. And as part of our success, I think, as the Springboks at the last Rugby World Cup, was those overseas-based players. Could you perhaps help us understand your line of thought a little bit better with regards to those comments?
Well, my comments are very simple. I mean, it worked for us well that we could pick overseas-based players and win a World Cup, and at the end of the day, that was fantastic. But I think if you wear your provincial hat, or if you wear your local hat, I mean, what's going to happen inside the organisation and inside SA Rugby is you're not going to produce players because all the best players are going to leave. You know, and I think we've got to get to a point where it's a next generation of players. And I feel strongly about it. The players need to be able to say that they will do anything to be a Springbok, and anything means playing local rugby, playing for your franchise. Because let's not forget, there's sponsors that put huge amount of money into South African rugby and into franchises. It's not a great sell when they're pumping money into franchises and all the best players are actually playing against us for overseas franchises.
Coach, thanks so much for giving us that context. Let's move on and talk about fans being allowed back at the stadium in much larger quantities. And your union has been kind enough to drop match day tickets to an affordable price of 25 Rand. Let's talk about how you feel about that and getting the fans back, because I'm sure that it was starting to feel a bit more like a library instead of a sporting venue for the past couple of games.
Exactly. Don't underestimate the value of the fans. We've played for two seasons now without fans. Sometimes with limited number of fans at the back end of the comp. But it's not the same, And I know Loftus is a special place for players to play in front of their home fans. So there was a massive, again, discussion and debate about what we need to do to get our fans back. Our fans are not just Pretoria. Our fans can go from all over South Africa. We've got people in rugby clubs playing in the Northern Transvaal, in the Eastern Transvaal, in the Western Transvaal. So our region can span for miles and miles, and we just feel that with the cost of people getting down from Limpopo or from Bella Bella or from Groblersdal or Rustenburg, the one way we can get them to come is to make the ticket prices a bit cheaper. And make it another entertaining afternoon. It's a mid-afternoon game. It's school holidays. It's a massive clash against Ulster, which are second on the log. So there's so much that we can punt, and we're just hoping that the supporters who've been saying for months now, let's get back into the stadiums, will be the first franchise that will show the rest of South Africa that they've been longing to come back and watch their team play.
And that's absolutely beautiful. And as I wrap up with you, Coach, now getting the union and supporters to buy into a sporting project can't be easy, as this sometimes takes some time in terms of culture and all other things. But tell us about that and what we can look forward to from now on forward from the Bulls.
Well, look, I think what you can look forward to is that there's a massive alignment between the president, the CEO, and the players. The organisation is very clear about where they want to be. The stakeholders, we've got Patrice Motsepe and Johan Rupert as our owners, both real good winners in their own fields. And as I said, I think what's going to happen, the Bulls will just get stronger and stronger. This is an incredible rugby province. It's an incredible rugby organisation. It's got massive amount of history. It's won 4 Super Rugby titles, 25 Currie Cups. In the professional area, by far the strongest rugby franchise in South Africa. And with the backing of the investors we have, and with the support base we have, and with the passion that we have, I can't see that the Bulls won't get stronger and stronger as we stay together as a group.
Coach, thank you so much for your time here this morning. Do have yourself a blessed day further.
You too. Have a good weekend.